1, 2, 3, 4. Hello and welcome to tipjarguitar.com and patreon.com /tipjarguitar is where you can get this tip sheet here, ts006, and we're going to go through it bar by bar and go over the different chord shapes we're going to use. This is going to use fifth chords, and they're going to be closed, meaning we're going to use no open strings, all fretted notes. So let's get right into it here. The first chord you're going to use is an A5. So you're going to play A, which is on the 5th fret of the low E. You know, it's also open A. And then you're going to take your 3 finger, and it has to be your 3. Sometimes you can play 5th chords with your pinky, but in this case you have to take your ring finger or 3 finger and put it on the E note, which is the 7th fret of the A string. Now you play those together, so you want to get your fingers right on top. But the trick here is that you have to, so when you press down this chord, you want to get your finger at an angle. Definitely your 3 fingers should come down at an angle and mute the D. And then your 1 finger can also come down at an angle and even mute the rest of the strings if you want. But the most important thing is the D. And do some resting pick strokes where you take your pick, go down to the next string to make sure you get those sounding good, and make sure you don't bend them down because that will pull them out of pitch. It'll make them go sharp. So you can, get your thumb right behind your fingers and squeeze and have this nice classical position like this. So now you just have to pinch it right down straight into the fretboard. Not feeling the wood, get the angle on your fingers to mute the string, at least the D. Go through, and then try to go through both now. And then see if you can actually end up resting your pick on the D string. Like that. So that's that'll get you used to playing these double stops through 2 strings. And really what you're doing is you're going through and then coming back up. And if you don't mute that D, you're gonna hit it and it's gonna sound funny. So you want to really control the strings that are playing and the strings that are dampened or muted. And now that's your A5 right there. So here's your A5. So your 1 finger or index is behind the 5th fret. So that 5 in this chord diagram actually refers to the 2nd line down. This is the 5th fret right here. So your 1 finger is behind the 5th fret. And then your 3 finger is behind the 7th fret of the A. And then the next chord we're going to play is, almost going to be the same. You have your 1 finger behind the 5th fret of the low E, and then you have your 4 or pinky behind the what is that now, 9th fret. So we have 5, 7, and then your pinky comes all the way to 9. So I'm keeping these 2 fingers down, and then I'm putting the pinky down. You don't want to lift it up or anything, you keep them down. Now that's going to be quite a stretch. You have to get your thumb right on the back of the neck down here. And if you feel like, oh, that's impossible, I can never do it, oh, my hands are too small, yeah, they're not. You can do it. One way to kind of get used to stretching is to try to, even take your pinky further. And you can lift these fingers up for this exercise and see how far you can stretch. Just stretch, stretch, stretch. My thumb's even off the back now. But I'm going all the way from the 5th fret to the 12th. That's about what I can do there. And then when you come back here, oh man, that's a breeze now. you know, be careful when you do that. And you can even kind of take your hand and, you know, do some finger yoga and stuff like that. But just loosen it up, get them stretched out, and then you'll be able to play both those notes, then rest it, go through both of them, and then like that. So now those are the two first chords here. Now let's go down to measure 1, and we're going to play straight eighth notes, meaning we're not going to shuffle it or anything. We're just going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, oh, sorry, you go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So you're playing A5 here for the eighth notes of 1 and for beats 1 1 right there. So you're subdividing it 1 and with 2 down picks, going right through those 2 strings. And then on beat 2, you play the A6 and put your pinky down on the 9th fret. And then right on the and of 2, you go back to the A5. So up to where my cursor is there, you're playing 1 and 2 and. So try that. 1 and 2 and. So if you can do that, 3 and 4 and is the same. You just go, so the whole measure up to here is like this. And then if you can do that, measure 2 is the same. So measure 2 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you know, one thing, if you know you're interested in theory, I do offer Skype lessons and guitar coaching. And I think I mentioned this. You can get this tab at patreon.com/tipjarguitar. Follow the link in the description if you're on the YouTube video. But for the theory of it, if you don't understand it, if this is the first degree of the A major scale, this is the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You play them at the same time. That's why it's called an A5. If this is the 5th degree, that's the 6th. A6. So that's how you play that there, up to my cursor, measures 1 and 2. And now we're going to go to the 5 chord, which means that we're going to play a chord based off of that 5th degree. There's your 5th. We're going to actually play it a chord, so we're calling it the 5 chord. Now you put your 1 finger on the 7th fret and your 3 finger on the 9th to play this E5. And again, you're muting. Now here you can even take your 1 finger up a little bit and use the tip of it to mute the low E if you want. Not super important, but it's kind of helpful if you're really, really getting into it. Then you don't have to worry about that string either. Hear that? So if you can do that, I'm proud of you. That's good. That's what you need to do. Otherwise, it's not too big a deal if you just aim your pick here and then mute these strings. And then this stretch should be a little bit easier. Again, you can try to do that stretching exercise, but all we're doing here now is going with your pinky to the 11th fret to play the E6. So the pattern is going to be the same. You go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on beats 2 and 4, you put your pinky down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And keep being careful that you hear both of the strings, 5 and 4 in this case. But whatever 2 strings you're playing, make sure they have about even loudness or dynamics. You don't want to have an emphasis on the top string. You have to drive your pick evenly through both of them. So that's that one. Now everything's going to be the same in measure 4 until we get to beat 4. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and. So that's all the same up to where my cursor is. And then you just move your power chord down a half step to go to a D sharp 5. So it just goes. So measure 4 altogether would be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, hold on, I missed it. So let me do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So measures 3 and 4 sound like this. And And then you can hear it doesn't sound like, that's a place to resolve. That's just a passing chord. And then we're going to go to D5, which is the 4 chord based off of the 4th degree. 1, 2, 3, 4 is D in the key of A. So there's your D5. Same pattern there, D5 to D6, putting that D6 with your pinky down on beats 2 and 4. So measures 5 and 6 are both that. And then measure 7, you just go back to A. Up, and let's see here, let me do something here. Alright, we gotta get back up. I got everything on a page here, so that's good. And then we go to the E5. And then this is a repeat symbol, so we can go all the way back and repeat it. And you can actually keep repeating this throughout the song, and then when you want to finish, you can just play an A5 power chord at the end. So, yeah, that's how it goes there. You just, and you know what? I'm going to put also a jam track to practice along to with a metronome. Just a guitar playing to a metronome tick that you can play along with in the Patreon, with the link in the description of the YouTube video. So go to that patreon.com/tipjarguitar to get the tab, the guitar profile, and this I'll send a wave file practice track. This is at like 80 beats per minute around, and that sounds about what the song's like to me. So one more time, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Play through it once there. And notice when I'm moving these chords, I'm keeping my relationships the same. So I'm not going like one finger then the other. I'm just lifting up and bringing them down. And then when you move your pinky, just take it up and down just a little bit off the fretboard. So get control of that pinky. And if you need more help with this, sign up for the guitar coaching plan on patreon.com. And I also offer Skype lessons there. So all right, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys back here again. Take care.